you ultimately got drafted to Houston, I think 41st pick,
Yeah.
but you walk in there with a star-studded, legendary, vetted out locker room with
Crazy.
Hakeem, Scottie, Charles,
Crazy.
Eddie Johnson, Antoine Carr. What was it like stepping into that environment as a young fella?
You know what's crazy, guys? I think Steve Francis and I would have been even bigger if we would have had veterans our second, third, fourth, fifth year. Let me tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who was with you, PG, in Indiana when you went there that were veterans, like real veterans. But with Vince, like say Vince Carter, Vince had like Charles Oakley and Antonio Davis, and he had
Mm-hmm.
Chris Childs, and veterans, right? Like Allen Iverson had Eric Snow and Aaron McKee and Mutombo and Theoretically, they have veterans.
Mm-hmm.
When you have really talented individuals, you need veterans around them, like Unks or mentors on the floor kind of thing. And Scottie, he walked me through. If it wasn't for Scottie Pippen, I don't even know if you guys would know Cuttino Mobley. Like he's the one who advocated for me to play. He needs to start. He's bringing us energy. This kid defends. Because at the beginning, the only thing I could do that they wanted me to do, put it this way, was bring the ball up, pass it in the post, cut through, and wait for a shot from Charles or Scottie or Hakeem Olajuwon, right? So
Mm-hmm.
defending and shooting threes was my thing my first year. That's all they would want me to do. Scottie bumped heads with Charles because Charles wasn't dedicated no more in the game. But Charles was super smart, and he got away with the way he played because he was just so smart. He didn't
Mm-hmm.
really focus on his body. And Dream was just, done. He was like, it was
He was at the end of his career at
right.
that
It
point.
wasn't like
Yeah.
it wasn't where he's hustling for us so we can grow. Right? And
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't his fault. It was just what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where if, but the crazy thing, fellas, is God loves me so much. Let me tell you why. You have Hakeem Olajuwon, you have Charles Barkley, you have Scottie Pippen. Hakeem showed you how to be a pro. Scottie showed you how to be a pro. And then Charles showed you how to stay in the league because he did something the opposite of what you should be doing. Right? Like not taking care of your body as much, no filter, right? It's just like things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where Scotty's like up in the morning, working out, shooting extra, doing all these things. Akeem was off the court, flawless.
Mm-hmm.
He's reading, he's quiet, he's dresses well, he's calm with you. So I got different personalities my first year so I could take that on to my career. But then it was like all your dads leave you. So now as a kid, you got to figure out how do I develop as a man in this league
Mm-hmm.
by myself, right? Or with me and Steve. Like it was just a hard thing because you become a star now. And everywhere we went, it was like Steve Francis, Cuttino Mobley, and they dunking and they doing this and they doing it. And it's like you needed that veteran or those vets that while they're playing in the game with you, like, yo, calm down. Okay, listen, I'm going to get you the ball. I'm going to get it back for you. Come on, do this pick and roll. I'm going to pop. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Listen, he's going to go right. And I'm going to be here and I need you to do. We didn't have that. We had a lot of younger guys with us. So we were learning. We had our own house where there was no parents. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Yeah,
right. You just need a little guidance, huh?
It's junky. It's not organized. There was there's a lot of shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You mentioned Steve, and we all know how good y'all two were in the backcourt. Just talk to us a little bit about how, what was it like first impression seeing Steve Francis and just y'all sharing that backcourt together for Houston?
Bro, see, people always talk about like Ja Morant and Derrick Rose, and Steve Francis was the first one when it came to an explosive point guard. I would say in the history of the NBA. Like dunking on bigs like that on a regular, getting 16 rebounds and assists. And Steve was like an anomaly. Like it's like not something you did, especially at the point guard position.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember when the summertime came before the season started and we had these legendary runs in Houston. And it was only one court, P. Jack, it was one court. So if you had Antonio McDyess, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, they'll tell you. These runs were, Avery Johnson put them on, okay? Sam Cassell, Nick Van Exel, you name it. we were all in this gym. It was about 15 highest level NBA players. And Steve and I, they would put us on the same team so we can build that camaraderie. And I saw he had that East Coast dog in him as well, right? And we bonded because I'm big bro, he little bro, and his mom had passed when he was like 12. My mom was there, and my dad, and my sisters, and my brothers, and then he had his pop, and then his brothers and sisters. So we kind of grew up together. You know what I'm saying? Those few years. So that's where it was like, you know, I tell people all the time, I could have averaged, scoring for me was so easy, but I loved my friendships so much that I could have averaged 25, 27 with my eyes closed. But the game, I loved my teammates so much. And Steve was he was such a dynamic individual as well that I kind of was at all sometimes. They're like, sometimes I'm not like I'm like watching like, God, oh, damn, all right, give me that. Like,
Right.
like those type of things. Because I've never seen somebody do that before. So my best friend was Alvin Williams. He played under the rim, even though he was 6'5". You know what I'm saying? So I never seen guards do that. So he made me a better player by attacking the rim a lot more and doing certain things, rebounding as a guard, you know, because back then, if you come in there as a guard trying to rebound, the bigs, that's how they got paid. You get fucked up.
You getting elbows.
Yeah, you ain't playing that shit. Like, get your little ass up out of here. Right? So it was like a lot of things Steve taught me and brought out of me as a player, which, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just spoke to him this morning, FaceTime this morning. It's like, that's my brother, bro. You know, people don't give him credit because Steve truthfully only played like 6 years of basketball. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
that's crazy to think about.
Yeah, 6 years, bro.
And y'all dominated in an era where y'all position was loaded.